Yeah, yeah. I tell people that when I came across Ipec, so that's the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching. So they're an American company, but I mean they're global, but their head office is in New Jersey.
Hmm.
And I'd looked for other coaching providers before, and I was like, and this one, I don't know if it's a timing thing or what, but my gut, 100%, it was a gut decision. My gut was like, this one. This didn't really factor in. It was like this one. And what it was for me is, so it's energy leadership or core energy coaching. So it's like this hybrid of coaching, psychology, a bit of kind of neuro linguistic programming, but so much more than that. And it looks at a bit of a spiritual angle. Not everybody that attends the course is spiritual, but if you wanted to look at things from that guise, then you could, but you don't have to. So what attracted me is that they teach you basically coach people's energy, and that's not through crystals and tarot cards and that kind of stuff. This is that your thoughts create your feelings, create your behavior. So it's a cycle, but it's a frequency. So your thoughts have a frequency. Your energies are energy in motion. They have a frequency. So whether you're excited, it's high frequency. When you're in fear, it's low frequency. So it's just neutralizing all of that and looking at it as this observation of our human experience, and that we all, have our conditioning. Some conditioning good, some conditioning not so good. And so it adds this beautiful modality and framework to help people increase their self-awareness. So the training, it starts in a very introspective place because it basically helps you understand yourself better. So it starts to kind of go, oh, these are my patterns of behavior. This is my patterns of thoughts. Oh, these are my beliefs. Oh, these are my values. And so it starts to kind of do that for you. And then it introduces the tools to then hold space to help people, like other people, navigate through that journey too. They're mission led as a company. So the guy who started it, Bruce D. Schneider, he, gotta say it with an American accent, he started out as a psychotherapist and then moved into lots of different modalities and
Mm.
basically came up with this 7 levels of energy framework. Um, and essentially, you were saying before, we all see the world through different lenses, different perspectives. So this is what this talks about. So the 7 levels of energy, if you imagine a funnel, and at the bottom of the funnel, you've got fear, our experience of visceral fear, of contraction, blinkered, we shrink, fear. And then at the top of the funnel is total passion, peace, oneness. It's like the other end of the scale, the yin and yang, the light and the dark. And then in between that, you've got these levels of contraction and expansion. And none of them are good and none of them are bad. They have a light part and a shadow part. So it basically talks about if we're experiencing life through a level 1 lens, then we are being a victim to life. We believe that we are powerless to change.
That's level one.
Level 1. So we are like handcuffed to our pain, but
Ball
we're
and
maybe
chain.
not taking responsibility for it.
Ball and chain.
Yeah, basically, ball and chain. And we all experience that, right? And the thing is we ricochet up and down these levels of energy all day long. But what it
Yeah.
teaches you is it's this integration of, again, this out of body experience of, okay, what lens am I looking through my situation at now? And how is that influencing my behavior? How is that influencing how I feel? And with the awareness, you can actually shift your energy. You don't have to. You can stick where you are. You're like, well, I'm angry, and I'm going to stay angry for a bit. So there we go. But if you wanted to shift out of it, then you know that at all times you're at conscious choice.
Hmm.
So you don't have to be totally identified with this thought pattern or this emotion. So the way it kind of works is your victim's level 1, conflict is level 2, so that's your anger. So used in the right way, that could be being assertive, being confident, pressing your point towards somebody, kind of asserting yourself. But on the shadow side, you could be a complete tyrant and walk over everybody. So it's kind of like, are you using your superpowers for good or bad? It's that's awareness. Level 3 is the trickiest stage, and that's where I believe I lived most of my life when I was living by other people's values, and that's the level of tolerating. That's where sitting on the fence, coping mechanism lives. It helps us get through things, but we're not fully expressing ourselves, so we're in this kind of like weird comfort zone, but we know it's not right. So if we live there too long, we can start to stagnate and drop into the lower levels of energy. But actually we can come out of that when we decide that actually I don't need to tolerate this anymore. I can shift out. So the energy levels goes up. And the idea of level 7 is that you have complete power to shift into any of those energy levels at any given time. So yeah, that's the kind of framework. And I think I mentioned before, there's a energy leadership assessment that I do where you fill in some questions, and then I do a debrief session and you get your own report, and it actually gives you data. It's like a litmus test for how you are. It's like an attitudinal test whereby it takes a snapshot of your energetic profile, which is to say, so right now when life's going well, where do you show up? Where is your energy level? So it gives you percentages of each of the 7 levels. But importantly, when you're triggered by stress, where do you go? Where is your pattern? Where do your thought patterns go? Where do you go with your feelings? And then what behaviour does that then elicit?
Do you think that's the biggest look into where you're not free?
Yeah.
The stress response?
Yeah, it is, because it's so innate in us. Our amygdala, the top of our brainstem, is the most primitive part of our brain. It's the fight or fight. It's that survival.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have the awareness, the conscious awareness, or the power to exercise and strengthen our awareness to know that, it's all right, it's just my amygdala going off. I just need to, elongate my breath and just calm my central nervous system back down to kind of see a bit more clearly and open up and say, whoa, what just happened there? Where am I? And reorientate yourself to know that you have got the power of conscious choice. So the training was really powerful, and yes, it gave me, I wanted to transition out of what I was doing. But what I didn't bargain for is I now know myself at such a deeper level, and it's given me the tools to continue that exploration.
It's specifically designed for coaching. For people who want individual coaching.
Yeah, people do it and don't become coaches.
Yeah.
Because essentially the coaching skill is just communication, ultimately. I know a lot of people that went on the programme that aren't coaches, that have decided not to go into coaching. They've just had this amazing experience because it is immersive. It's an 8-month programme, and it's immersive.
How much interaction do you have with the other people that are on the course?
A lot.
There are a lot of workshops and weekends and.
Yeah, so there's 3 3-day immersives that are spaced out. Because I did 2 of my modules in Dallas, Texas, which was entertaining because I was the only British person. And so I got treated like royalty, which was rather lovely.
Because your accent.
Because yeah, exactly. It's like, can you read the back of this shampoo bowl? You're like, really? But yeah, so that experience of being in very much an American kind of setting was an experience. And then I did my 3rd module back in London. There's a lot of Europeans, actually a lot of Canadians and Americans that had come over for that because it was pre-COVID. But the training is really experiential. It's not just, I guess it's theory based, but they're inviting you to integrate and embody all the time. So it's a deepening, awareness. And they're mission led to raise the consciousness of the world one person at a time. That's their mission. Whether that's through creating coaches or people who actually just parent differently, or they communicate in their relationship differently because they've got these tools to know, this is where I am. So what? Now what? I can shift.
Are there any books that went hand in hand with this? Isn't your learning?
Yeah.
Any other resources that people
yeah,
can,
we can share some links. So Bruce has authored a couple of books, one of which being Energy Leadership. It was his first book, and it talks about kind of how he's used this framework within a workplace and kind of how it all fitted together. And then there's a second book, and the title has gone out of my head.
In the link.
But it's a bit more of a spiritual book. But again, it's this noticing, this awareness of the story we tell ourselves and navigating through life with greater awareness. So yeah, powerful books.
Nice.